loud, is it disrespectful? That's all I need. It was a bad shot, but he was out of rhythm as well.
Don't try to take up. That was a bad
He
shot.
was out of rhythm though.
Kendall, where do we start?
I don't even know, bro.
Where do we go with this?
This is wild, bro. I have no idea where we even go with this.
It's so many different angles we could take with this.
Yeah.
I could laugh in Jackson State's face.
Congratulations to Jackson State for winning the Swac championship.
It's almost like a great job, but you lost at the same time.
Yeah, this is a tough pill to swallow for sure. I think it's tough for a lot of different reasons, not just for Jackson State, not just for that program.
Swac, bro.
Yeah, but I think it's also tough for HBCU football in general, to be honest with you. That's a tough loss. I mean, it hasn't been officially announced, but it's a lot of speculation. And
if he doesn't leave at this point, I will be so surprised.
It's feeling kind of like LeBron, I can't lie. Like the decision.
If I should have put a clip on here that shows you.
Yeah, it's feeling very LeBron-ish. I mean, you could just tell by the way he was looking, like he's not. It felt like he was taking it in, to be honest with you. It really did.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I have no idea what to say. I don't even know how to feel about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's like I'm happy because I mean we want to compete with the best, but it's like this opens up a lane for us to win a championship, but it's not gonna feel the same because if you want to be the best, you gotta beat the best. It just don't. I don't know, and it hurts. I think for me and you personally, based off this was our first time going to SWAC Media Day, last year, and we didn't get the opportunity to really speak to him. It's bittersweet.
Yeah, it definitely is. You know, you talk about a team that or a program that kind of got blessed with a dude of Deion Sanders caliber.
Cheap.
Yeah, cheap too. You know, I think what they said his deal was 1.2 mil, I believe.
Yeah.
And he also gave up half of that salary so they could get their football facilities finished and all of that before the season. So it's like you're looking at it and you're just like, this is a dude that brought a lot of attention, whether you like him or not, whether you respect him or not. He brought a lot of attention to HBCU football in general, but also SWAC football specifically. And it sucks to kind of have him leave like this. If he does indeed leave, and it's just like, man, I mean, you know, Twitter always want to talk. So I mean, Twitter's been talking about it all day for the past couple of days now about the impact of him leaving after saying everything that he's been saying about HBCU football and about, you know, it's us against them and all of that type of stuff. So it's a sticky situation for sure. I don't know. I'm very curious to see how Jackson State fans are thinking about it and how they feel about everything that's going on.
For sure, because I'm like, and we're gonna get to the. I guess we should. First of all, before we get into any of this, let's get into the game. You know, that's the first. That's the main thing at hand. Very interesting game that could have been a blowout. Honestly,
bruh, I'm not gonna lie. I had my pops hit me up. He said, Jackson State 100 to 7. This was 26-0 in the first. I think they scored 26 points in about 11 minutes. And that's when I got the call. 100 to 7. Oh, for sure. It looked very easy. And Southern did a great job of making adjustments. You got to give it to them for that. I mean, 26-0, and you make it a semi-competitive game after that, especially 26-0 in the first quarter.
They almost came back.
Yeah. What was the quarterback name that came in? McDaniel. I know that was his last name. McDaniel was his last name, but he came in. I think it was in the second quarter. I want to say something like that.
It was either late first or
late first or early second. Yeah, and he came in and he helped them out a lot. You know, I was surprised at how much better the offense looked.
Glendon McDaniel.
Yeah, so he had I heard over the broadcast that he had been playing He had been starting for them at some point during the season, so you can see why for sure. But they looked a lot better and they fought. They did. They made it interesting. I wasn't expecting it to be interesting. I was expecting it to, put all the second string in, third string, shoot, put the fourth string in at this point, probably at halftime. So I was surprised and I was happy that it was a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, because if you look Pat, if you just take the game and look at the game past halftime, Southern won. Like if we're just going based off the numbers, Southern played better than Jackson State in the second half. Now,
But
if
you
you
also, and you said this earlier, it's hard to come back from a 26-0 deficit in the first quarter. So I
yeah,
mean, they
with
dug
for
themselves
any
a
team,
hole.
any
Yeah.
team. And I think if you would have started Glendon McDaniel from the first half, you have a different kind of. I mean, from the first quarter, you have a different kind of ball game because you're talking about having 20 carries for 162 yards, 20 carries for 160 yards as a quarterback is crazy. First of all,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
He was
then
breaking. He was breaking something. It looked like a running back.
yeah, and then 120 pass yards in the air, one touchdown, two interceptions. But those interceptions were the end of the game. But you almost felt Southern their whole like how do I say this? The energy shifted around their team. You saw everybody pick up as you saw him making
They had
plays.
they had life for the first
Yeah,
time in the whole game.
exactly. And it's
He
almost like
definitely gave them that life for sure.
if you look at their team, it's almost like we thought this guy should have been the backup should have been a starter anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
I kind of feel like that. But I think that, what can you say about Jackson State? Great defensive team. Offense has their weaknesses, but I think one thing that Jackson State has struggled with all season long is making adjustments. I don't think that they're a great X's and O's team. I think that they can out talent everybody, but
For
when
sure.
it comes to making adjustments, like for example, like you said, this game, whole first half they were dominant. Second half came around, Southern made adjustments. Southern said, "Okay, we're gonna limit these explosive plays." And obviously, Jackson. It comes a time when talent. Sometimes you have more talent than the other team. That's what Jackson State has ran into.
Yeah, I agree with you. And while I was watching the first half or the first quarter, I was like, they're just more talented. It's nothing where I felt like Southern could have changed how they came out. I mean, obviously they could have not turned the ball over as much,
Back
but
to back.
even if those are resulting like 3-and-outs or whatever, you're still giving them back the ball and they're still going down the field regardless. So that was one of the things where I was just like, man, it's a obvious talent disparity. It was obvious, and I think it was obvious throughout the whole game. I mean, especially in that first quarter, though, for sure. And I think they just coasted the rest of the game. To be honest with you, I mean,
Yeah.
I like I said, I give Southern credit for what they did. Putting the game, making the game more interesting. But at the same time, I think Jackson State just coasted.
Yeah, and it seems like almost when you say coasted, it seems like they turned it on when they had to. Like when Shador needed to make a play, he did. But other than that, they were just kind of trying to going through the motions and running the clock out. It was just going to be an easy coasting game.
For sure.
But that defense is amazing. Jackson State has an amazing defense. But I don't know why you come out here why are you coming out with a pocket passing quarterback against a defense that has an amazing pass rush? Like if you the only way you're going to beat Jackson State, and anybody knows this, if your quarterback isn't a dual threat, you're not beating them at all. You have to be
Especially
able
off
to
the
do it.
blitz. Especially off the blitz.
Exactly.
They do a lot.
When you have guys like Aubrey Miller and Lane Gaddy, like they the pressure they were bringing on these Southern quarterbacks was crazy. But I think
some of the time they almost hit him before he even got a snap off. It felt
exactly.
like they was going all sides. That's how quick they was getting in the backfield.
Exactly, and I want to give credit to a couple of Southern receivers. They made some great catches. I saw Travis Hunter get snagged on a couple times. I think that when you're in a situation like that, when you see Jack State's going to blitz, it forces your receivers to make some tough catches, and Southern did that.
For sure.
But I mean, great credit to Southern. They fought back. They didn't give up by any means. I think they fought to the end of the game. You any other thoughts about it?
Nah, man. To be honest with you, I want to talk about what everybody here for real. I'm ready for it, man. You want to pull up the video while I pull up this topic?
Let's get to it.
Man, I'm ready for this one.
Kendall. I wish we could play a sad song with this, What's the
Yeah.
Michael Jackson? Never can say goodbye. But like
Chris Brown.
man, I'm hurt. But like obviously Pete Thamel, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. According to sources, Deion Sanders is headed to Colorado. It's basically a done deal, pretty much, but the paper hasn't been signed. Kendall, how are you feeling? People in the comments that are here, let us know how you're feeling.
Man, I don't even know how to feel about it, man. It sucked to see him go. I can't lie to you. It sucks to see him go. You know, that's a dude that had a really big impact on HBCU football for the past 2.5, 3 years. And he did a whole lot of stuff for a whole lot of people. Whole lot of programs benefited from him being there. You saw it. If you saw during the season, Jackson State was trending every week. Whoever they was playing was trending every week. We had one of our most successful periods for our podcast when, of course, Coach Robinson and Coach Sanders got into it. I mean, it's crazy the amount of support that everybody gave him. Jackson State included. I mean, Jackson State, their fans, they showed out. If you saw a couple of the clips that we just showed, man, you got the whole crowd singing his song and everything. It sucks to see him go. It does. We've had our feelings about the whole Deion situation when it came to us, but it sucks to see him go for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely somebody that we both respect. We understand his impact on the whole HBCU culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna sit up here, and I think we both know this. It's him leaving is gonna impact not only our network but everybody else's in the SWAC as well.
For sure.
For the worst, because when you talk about losing a guy of that magnitude with the attention that he brought to HBCUs and SWAC specifically, it's you're not gaining anything from him leaving. I hope. I don't like the way, and I mentioned this to you earlier, I don't like the way he's exiting right now. Not really saying anything. He's been very undercover, slipping out, not giving any post-game conference. I think you could have nipped everything that's going on in the bud if you just go to the post-game conference and be like, hey, this is what it is. This is what it ain't. I feel like he kind of has, because people still have some hope right now. I think Jackson State fans still have hope that he may come back. I think that
at this point it is just reports. I mean, they're strong reports for sure, but at this point they are still reports.
Yeah, and he hasn't negated any of the reports. I think he said, if you didn't hear from me, it's not true. But that's kind of playing both sides at the end of the day. He's not giving a definitive answer. I think if you're going to talk about being the voice of the SWAC, and I am SWAC, he ain't SWAC, they ain't SWAC, me ain't SWAC, you have to be able to be a man, step up to the podium, and tell the people what it is and what it ain't. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I feel like at this point, I think it is some uncertainty, but also I think if he does leave, I feel like it kind of puts Jackson State in a tough position.
And we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. You're right. But as far as Coach Prime, I think the way that he's kind of brought Jackson State to a program of national acclaim, I think has been really great to see. I mean, you got to think they like you just said earlier, they've had their first undefeated season ever. They just won a SWAC championship. They're coming off of winning the SWAC championship a year ago. What their record with him was 27-5, and their first 3 losses were in his first season, which was a spring season. I mean, like he did everything he said he was going to do. We talked about it during SWAC Media Day, and afterwards, all he was talking about was dominate. And every single game, it felt like that's what they did. They had some close games against us and Tennessee State, but at the end of the day, they handled business.
They won in a day.
They did everything they said they was going to do. Yep. So you looking at it where, all right, he's departing. One of the things that I was thinking about in their game against Southern, especially that first quarter, Gate told me that was, if he leave, I could see him. One of the reasons why he's saying that he's leaving is because of lack of competition. I mean, I think we've talked about how talented the SWAC is. I still believe that, but at the end of the day, you look at their resume throughout the whole season. They ran through everybody pretty much. They had 2 close games, and That was it. It ran through everybody. So I'm looking at that and I'm saying, if he do leave, I can see him really saying it was no competition. I did what I said I was going to do. I brought attention to HBCUs. I turned Jackson
Handle
State
my
into a
business.
powerhouse. I handled my business.
Yeah.
I trended worldwide every week. I did what I needed to do. So he could be thinking, I'm not saying that he is, but he could be thinking, hey, my job's done.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a fair point. I mean, I can't be mad at him if that's how he feels. It hurts. It definitely hurts Jackson State. It hurts us. Like you said, it hurts HBCUs as a whole. But I mean, we have to be thankful for the moment. I think sometimes when you're in the process of something going on, you can't enjoy it. You can't enjoy how much publicity he was bringing to the Swac. But once he leaves, some impacts aren't felt until the person leaves. We're gonna miss him next year every single week. Now, I think that people say Jackson State's fan base was traveling deep before Deion got there. We'll see how true that is next year. But I'm almost at a loss of words at how this is going to impact us as a whole. I don't even know what Kendall, how do you leave? How do you leave if you're Deion? What is the Jackson State's fan base reaction if he leaves? Like, are you mad? I'm happy you did this? I'm sure there are going to be people that are upset. It's like a LeBron leaving Cleveland situation.
I mean, I've been on Twitter pretty much the whole day looking at stuff about him and people's opinions. You know, you got one crowd that's like, it feel like he kind of just used Jackson State. He used them to kind of get, because of course coming in he hadn't coached at the collegiate level before. He had tried to go, I think it was, what was it, like Florida State or one of those schools. He had tried to go
or something like that.
Yeah, he had tried to go coach there, and they said no, pretty much because he didn't have any coaching experience, or at least that's what was reported. And then he went to Jackson State, won a couple of rings, went 27-5, and dominated. Now he's getting a Colorado offer. I don't believe that offer would have been there if he wouldn't have came to Jackson State. Now you got people saying that he used Jackson State. I feel like he did a lot for Jackson State. I'm not going to sit here and act like he didn't. Like I said earlier, he's forfeiting half of his salary to finish building the football facilities and everything. He got college game day to Jackson State versus Southern for Jackson State's homecoming. That's the second time ever that they've been on the HBCU campus. The last time was, I believe it was at FAMU in 2008. He flipped the number one recruit in the nation. He flipped the number one recruit who's being recruited by Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, and a whole lot of others. He flipped him to Jackson State. So that's big time. I mean, he did a lot of good stuff.
It was a mutualistic relationship. I think both parties benefited. Now, is it going to leave the impact? I think the question is it going to leave the impact that obviously it's not going to have the same attention as it was when he was here. Was the attention going to go from here to here, or are we going to be like, in that middle balance where we still got some attention, we're still getting nationally televised? Would you say that he left the SWAC in a better place than he found it? I think he left Jackson State in a better place than he found it, but the SWAC as a whole, I'm not completely sure.
So for one, I actually want to pose that question to the comment section as well. Let us know what y'all think. I mean, this is something that we want to know, every different perspective. We want to know exactly what y'all think. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe as well.
Where the Jackson State fans at this week?
But as far as how do I feel about like where the state of the SWAC is, I think two things. I think we both benefited at the same time. I feel like, with everything that the SWAC commissioner has been doing with the conference and, getting TV deals and doing all of the stuff that we've been doing, I feel like we've all kind of benefited at the same time. Now, some more than others. I think Jackson State has benefited more than most of the schools in the SWAC. But at the same time, I don't think that we would have the 5-star recruits or the 4 and 5-star recruits having schools like us in Jackson State in their top fives,
Not without him.
or exactly, or a Demetrius Davis, a 4-star quarterback from Auburn, transferring in for Alabama State. I don't think that we'll have those type of things. So I think that the Swac is in a lot better position than it was when he first got here, for sure.
So, if you don't mind, how could you expand upon that? Why you feel that way? Talking conversation, not you, Kendall.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I like I said, I think that he left Jackson State in a much better place. Financially, this is going to take a hit on their city.
Oh, for sure.
We're already talking about a city that's just went through a water crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, rest in peace to. I mean, that is shooting on campus. I think it was day before yesterday. So rest in peace to the victims of that. Jackson State's still going to face the same struggles. It's still Jackson, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the school's athletic program, I think they're in a great position. Now, who they can hire from here, we're going to get to that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But they can still capitalize on this opportunity.
Yeah, they definitely can. I mean, it's a situation where I think they need to hire somebody quick, for sure. Because if you don't, I think you run the risk of losing a lot of your players. Transfer portal's bigger than ever, so I think you run the risk of losing your players, or a lot of them,
because you're going to lose them regardless. Travis,
yeah, for sure. Those that don't go with Deion, we already know Shador's leaving. We already know Shiloh's probably leaving. We know Travis is leaving. So I mean, we know those guys are leaving. So the ones that you still have there, because they have a lot of talent. They're a deep team too.
I think some are going to stay. I don't think every single one is going to leave, but the majority, the ones that feel like they can play at that level, they're going.
So one of the comparisons that I was making was when Mo Williams left Alabama State last year. You had a whole team pretty much enter the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot, and then we got Tony Madlock, and then some of the players stayed, and then we recruited some other ones. It's a lot easier to rebuild a 15-man roster than it is to build, like, what is it? How many players
59,
they got on there?
something like that.
53, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to build a 15-man than a 53. So that I feel like it's important for them to kind of have those things in order, make those preparations, because if you don't, then you run the risk of losing an entire team and then trying to fill it up with recruiting whenever you end up getting your coach.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think that people have to realize the negative reality of it is these 5-star recruits, like Kendall said, they're not coming for Jackson State. If Deion wasn't there, Travis Hunter is not saying, "Hey, I want to go to Jackson State. I want to go to Jackson, Mississippi."
He said
play
that
against this. He said what?
He said that.
Yeah,
he said I came for Deion.
So when these players do decide to leave, you can't be mad at them. They told the truth. They didn't come to Jackson State just for the environment. Now, don't get me wrong, the HBCU environment is amazing, but let's be real. They want to play these top schools against top talent. Now, and that's why they're going to follow them. And it's gonna hurt talent wise, but I think that we'll still. What do you think? You still think we're gonna get some transfers to come down and play at HBCU levels, the ASUs?
I do. I think the thing about him leaving that kind of,
make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to people just joined in.
The thing about him leaving that makes me sad and kind of upset is that we didn't get to a point where I feel like mainstream media appreciated HBCU football
at all. And I think we were getting there.
Exactly. We were on the way, because you got to think. And this is one of the things with this comment that we have up here. I feel like the SWAC as a whole is better off than it was before he got here, but I don't feel like all of that is due to him. We have talented coaches. We got talented coaches. We got talented players. I don't think a lot of them got the shine if Jackson State's name was not attached to them. And that's the sad part, is that we got all of this talent, and I don't know if it's. I'm trying to figure out how big the drop off is going to be, because it's going to be a big drop off. You got a whole bunch of people on social media and on Twitter, all of them talking about, there's no reason to watch HBCU football now. Like, HBCU football is dead again, like this and that. And it's like, it's too much talent. We've done too much. We came too far to be back in that position.
Yeah. And you mentioned the fact that the coaches didn't get their recognition. One of the tweets that I made the other day was, What if he were to take some of the head coaches in the SWAC he faced off against and gave him problems and made them his assistants? Now, there's a rumor right now that FAMU's head coach Willie Simmons is being, one of those targets that he's potentially thinking about taking to Colorado with him as offensive coordinator. And now, if he does that, I still have kind of mixed feelings about it because it's like you're taking away from us because that's the only we only have so many good things about HBCUs as it is. It's like you're taking the good things that we do have. But I think he's doing it for a good cause because he's helping out his peers. Now, do I think that he's going to take Coach Robinson based off their history? No. Do I think Coach Robinson wants to go with him? No.
That's dead.
But you know what I'm saying? I think he's doing good, but you're hurting us. You doing good is hurting us.
And see, that's another thing. I've seen a couple of things where people have said, basically he got a promotion. He's going to get more money. I think it's been rumored that Colorado's getting him like $5 million.
With $7 million in incentives.
He was getting 1.2 mil, half of which he had to give up in order for them, or half of which he donated in order for them to get their facilities together. I mean, at that, when you just looking at it like that, like if he was at just a regular school, whatever it was, and he did that, you can't really blame the guy. Yep. But at the end of the day, he did a lot, but it's like, I think the real question is, did he do enough? He stayed for 2.5, 3 years. Did he do enough?
So I kind of look at it like this, and this just came to my mind. If you're I'm a big fan of Tupac, and if you watch the Tupac movie, in the movie, he said, "I may not be the person that leads us over the bridge, but hopefully I spark the brain that can lead us over the bridge." Maybe that's what he's gonna do. He's just the brain that led us there. Now he's gone, so maybe somebody else. Jerry Rice decides to come down. Maybe Ray Lewis decides to come down. Now, I think if you're going to do this as an HBCU, if let's say Ray Lewis calls ASU one day, no shade to Coach Robinson, he calls ASU, I want to be your head coach. You're going to think about how Deion Sanders just left Jackson State, made it better, but left it in the day before you make these hires. You can't that's a risk that you're always going to think about. If you're an HBCU now, so you're going to get attention, but you're going to lose him at some point, regardless of what happened. Kendall, at some point, Deion was going to leave Jackson State, even if it was just for retirement. He was going to leave.
Yeah.
So you had to. I hope that they took the steps to prepare for this.
I hope it wasn't something that was kind of a blindside. But I feel like it wasn't. I mean, This has been rumored all season, so I feel like you've had all season.
We know our ears. We see rumors.
Yeah. So I mean, you've had all season to kind of think about it and understand that could be a possibility. I feel like certain things like this, like what Ms. King just said, about sustainable funds, sustainable infrastructure, and strong commitments, like that type of stuff. I feel like it didn't necessarily get to where it needed to be at while he was there, even just for
like, comment, subscribe, y'all.
Yeah, for sure. Even just for Jackson State as a school, but then you also look at the other HBCUs too. It's one of those things where I don't know if we got enough from the Deion Sanders experience. So let's just call it that. That 2.5, 3 years. Did we get enough from the Deion Sanders experiment?
I say no. I don't think we got everything that we could have got out of it. I think there was a lot left to be desired. Do I think that on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna say we got about a 6. I think there were more steps that could have been taken, but this is gonna be a situation where, how every time HBCUs are mentioned at the Grammys, BET Awards, what's the one they're always talking about? Howard. That's
the crazy part. And that's what I'm saying about what happened outside of Jackson State, Mississippi. You still had people talking about Howard, the Hamptons, the NCATs, all of those schools came up first for sure. Then you got who was it? Diddy at the BET Awards. Diddy giving money to Jackson State. Jackson State
don't need nothing else. What about ASU? What about UAPB? What about A&M?
That's the thing too, though. They did need that stuff. Or at least that's my opinion. Yeah. I'm not putting down the fact that Jackson State got put up to this
put up to this tier of, all right, when we mention HBCUs, we talking about Jackson State. I like that. I like that. But that's my issue though. It's like, all right, Jackson State needed that for sure. But I'm worried about the rest of the HBCUs as well. That's my whole thing about what happened is like Jackson State got put on that pedestal for a while. What about the other?
They took advantage of it.
They did for sure. But do the other HBCUs benefit as much? And if they do, how long is that going to last?
I think it doesn't hurt. It definitely doesn't hurt having Coach Robinson, who's from the NFL. He has resources.
Hugh Jackson.
I really hope that we get another. I wish that we could have gotten another NFL player to come down and compete with him, be a rival to him, outside like a Ray Lewis, an Ed Reed, someone to make competitive. Because you're leaving and you're just, I dominated.
Bro, I'm sorry, but this comment got me weak, bro. That comment got me weak, bro. I can't lie to you. That comment got me weak. That was funny.
Okay, that
was funny. Hey man, make sure y'all like the stream, bro. It's a lot of y'all in here. We want to know what y'all think about the whole Deion Sanders situation. Oh, for sure. The whole Deion Sanders situation, him leaving for Colorado potentially. Make sure y'all let us know what y'all think. Make sure y'all like the stream, all of that. But yeah, man, it's a crazy situation, bro. We knew it was gonna happen, but it's the fact that it's happening right now is just it's a crazy situation for sure. It's crazy.
Since it's 71 people here, I need at least some of y'all to give us some feedback. How do y'all feeling right now? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you feeling like we didn't get everything out of it? And my thing is this, Kendall. This is the biggest part. Colorado?
Yeah, I was very confused. Colorado was very confusing to me.
Kendall, we got their power. So there's 5 major conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado, Kendall. Cincinnati, Colorado.
Yeah.
Florida Atlantic, who I like. I think it's a good program. USF. Your hometown, Colorado. The only reason I know about Colorado is because of Levante Chenault.
That's a good point.
Lavisa Chenault. And you're talking about a program that's only won one game in a couple years. I'll tell you this right now. This job right here is going to be harder than this Jackson State job. Let me tell you why. You're talking about now you can just you're Deion, you can throw Jackson's, you can just walk into these HBCU recruiting rooms and go talk to one of these transfer players and you can throw your name out there and be like, I'm Deion, I can get you here. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, you're at a Power 5 school, but you're in a conference with Lincoln Riley. You're in a conference with Chip Kelly. You're on the same level as Nick Saban, Kirby Smart. Now you recruit against somebody.
Oh yeah,
not only Kendall, not even recruiting wise. Now you're going into these football games coaching against somebody that has more experience than you coaching wise. Now you're gonna have to make adjustments. You can't just go out in the field and say I'm the most talented team out there. You have to actually coach now. And I don't think these X's and O's as far as making adjustments are that great.
That remains to be seen, bro. You making some solid points. You spitting right now. I can't cap. You making some solid points. With this comment, because we getting some stuff in the comments now. So in this comment right here, I definitely agree. I don't know about monetary wise or money wise. Like I don't know if these HBCUs have the funds to give these coaches, the $5 million that Deion got. I don't think anybody got that.
We were talking about this the other day. People were asking, what is Jackson State going to do? What can they do? You're talking about a school that's struggling to get water and struggling to keep players in the dorm rooms.
A city in general.
They're going to have to break the whole school budget to keep Deion
break the bank. Yeah, for sure.
Like,
break
come
the bank.
on, y'all. Let's think.
That's true. What are the three job openings? What are the 3 job openings?
Probably OC, DC,
OC, coaches. Yeah, probably. And this comment right here, bro, this is why I loved him being there. Because who else do you know that came to it that's consistently on an HBCU campus making PWI sweat, taking away number one recruits, taking away top recruits? Man, that's big. That's big, and people want to see those recruits play. And they playing on HBCU campuses and HBCU programs, bro. That's big. We love that. As Black people, we love that. We want to see that because that's how it used to be. In the 80s, where you got all of these legends, these NFL legends, bro, that's where it used to be at.
And the thing is, Kendall, I think that me and you, especially based off of our what we thought was going to happen, we thought there was a better chance of Jackson State leaving the conference as a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely leaving as an individual. I think that was the feel across the entire SWAC. I had to get off my mind. I kept thinking about that. But come on, we didn't think Deion was going to leave. Because he kept talking about we gotta get better. I gotta get ready for Nick. I gotta get ready for Nick. Okay, you got Travis. You got all these other players, 3 stars, 4 stars. Now you're gone.
Yeah.
So there were some tweets that I saw. And I sent you one where they were saying Deion made this more about him than Jackson State. I could see that. I could see where he made this more about his own ego and the way he brought. I mean, but that's always been Deion though. That's that. If you follow his track record. That's always been his personality. I'm going to bring the attention to me. The jewelry, Kendall, the who ain't Swac, I ain't Swac, making a song. Like,
I mean, I think that he also, he said a lot of good stuff about putting HBCUs to the forefront, getting more players drafted, all of that type of stuff. He said a lot of good stuff. But it's like, how many of those things are going to...
Like, comment, subscribe, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, for sure. How much of that stuff is actually going to like continue to be there when he leaves? That's the thing that kind of gets me. And like this comment say right here, I don't think the playing field has been leveled at all. I mean, I think that we made some progress, but I don't feel like the playing field has been leveled.
The level in the playing field is what's going on in SWAC basketball right now when these SWAC schools beating these Power 5 schools. That's leveling the playing field. Leveling the playing field is Jackson State going to play Tennessee or Alabama and competing with them or beating them. Leveling the playing field is what Tamika Reed is doing at Jackson State as a basketball coach. She's competing with LSU in the NCAA tournament. That's leveling the playing field. Leveling the playing field ain't dominating the SWAC and then dipping. What? I feel like I'm preaching the word right now. I feel like I'm preaching the word.
Yeah,
like,
I was about to say, you spitting for real. I got to get your credit on that one.
How in what way is this level in the playing field, Kendall, that you left on, and the timing couldn't have been worse based off that shooting. The timing couldn't have been worse based off the water crisis. You're not making this look better, Deion. Be a man, go to the table at the press conference. I'm leaving.
I do feel like one of the reasons, like one of the things that definitely would have helped this case is doing something like that. Even because whatever report that you read, what was the report that you read again about why Jackson State, why they didn't have anybody at the post game?
So the report was, I'm gonna go back and give my source in a minute because I don't want to say anything wrong. The report was, according to HBCU Spotlight, the Jackson State team did not attend the press conference because they were holding a coaches meeting back at the campus. That lets me know everything I need to know. Deion is gone, y'all. It's not anybody that's holding out any hope. It's over. It's cooked. He shook his hand. He was leaning on the AD. Kendall said, we've never seen Deion look in the crowd and look at the band.
Man, I wish we could pull up the clip, man. That man was looking around. He had his arm over the AD. Yeah,
almost
man.
Like reflecting on what he's done.
For sure.
Deion don't reflect. Deion is a very in the moment person. He's never looking at, I got this now. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I like, comment, subscribe, by the way. Like, comment, subscribe. And we're not saying, when I say, I'm gonna talk about his comment, I'm not gonna click on it, but I'm gonna say something about it. Be a man. We're not saying be a man as in he's cowering out. But if you're gonna leave, you have to say something. Stop leading these people on, talking about some, if it ain't come from me, it ain't true. No, address it.
Yeah. And we got a lot of stuff in these comments.
Yeah, this the most views we've had. And we got good Wi-Fi now? Okay.
Over with.
Y'all like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Cash App, Wildcard 2K. Info is at the bottom. Make sure y'all tune into us. We do this as much as we can.
That's definitely true. He could definitely be forcing something for sure. I could see it happening because now there's a threat. Now there's a threat to him leaving. I feel like maybe some of the stuff before it's like, you're not gonna leave. I mean, you still on contract, whatever. But now it's some heat on it, so I can see that.
I'm gonna be honest, Kendall. The best thing that Jackson State, if I'm a Jackson State fan, I was hoping, I would be hoping that they lost that Swac championship today. It would have motivated him. I was hoping.
As an indictment on him?
Basically. No, not an indictment, but to make him try to come back. I ain't finished the job. Job not finished.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
Like some Kobe kind of deal. But it seemed like his mind was made up regardless. I thought that the Celebration Bowl was something that he wanted to win. Because it's the national championship of HBCUs.
That's really the only blemish on his record.
Exactly, and it doesn't seem like that's motivating him either. I mean,
because basically, if he does announce that he's leaving, he's probably not coaching. I mean, when is the Celebration Bowl again?
December 17th. So about 3 weeks, I want to say. 2 weeks.
2 weeks to the date. 2 weeks to the day. He not coaching that. He's not coaching that. If
recruiting and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's not coaching that. Probably some of the players not gonna play in that game.
I don't expect Shador to play.
Yeah,
personally.
Travis probably won't play.
Can we talk about Travis for a second, Kendall?
What up?
Did I not mention this back when we were on campus? I said I feel like the reason Travis is not playing in this season is because he's holding out so he can be healthy. So when Deion makes that transition to the next spot, Travis can go in healthy and beat him, as opposed to how he came into this season right now banged up. And another thing that people got to think about is this. Shiloh Sanders, y'all don't talk about that son enough right there. Shiloh Sanders is a problem. But Shiloh played, I think, 3 to 4 games this season. Shiloh has already transferred from South Carolina. He's already made the transition process, the transfer process one time. If he transfers again, he has to sit out a season. Shiloh's about to be a senior. Do you stay at Jackson State and just finish out the last season? Do you go take that risk of sitting out at the other year at Colorado and just being a senior with Shador? I mean,
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I mean, because that's a situation where I don't know, because I don't know what type of dude Shiloh is. So I mean, I know family is
definitely. I think he enjoyed Jackson State though.
Yeah, for sure, and that's what I'm saying. So like, I don't know. I don't know what he would do in that situation. What I would do probably, I mean, I think a lot of players would probably say this too. I would survey the scene, because you don't know what type of person they're gonna have in that head coaching position. You don't know what type of team you're gonna have. It's a lot of things together, or it's a lot of things that you got to put into account when you make a decision like that. So, I will have to see kind of who they put there before I will make that decision.
Now, Kendall, this is the last question I'm going to ask before we go to the next topic about Jackson State's next hire. Do you think that Jackson State should be more thankful for Deion, or Deion should be more thankful for Jackson State? Now, I ask you that question because if you're Deion Sanders, Jackson State was the only place that was going to hire you. They were the one that gave you the opportunity to get to Colorado. But if you're Jackson State, I mean, you had success before Deion got there, but you're on the national spotlight. You got College Game Day there. What y'all answer the question in the comments as well. Kendall, what do you think?
Personally, I think
good question.
Yeah, because I really want to say it should be kind of mutual. But if I have to choose, I would probably say Deion should be thankful for Jackson State, because I think him going to a PWI wouldn't have been as big necessarily. Because with HBCUs, you had an opportunity. You got in at the perfect time. Because like I said, Swac football was coming up as soon as he came in. Like, he was on the trajectory. I feel like the Swac was on the trajectory of becoming better, but he made it even better. So
when he came in, it was like, all right, all eyes are on a totally different conference. This is something that people really haven't been paying attention to. This and that. This gives Jackson State the perfect platform. This gives Deion Sanders the perfect platform. It gave him something to fight for that wasn't just, all right, we're trying to win some games. This is a culture thing. This is so much bigger than just Jackson State. This is so much bigger than just Deion Sanders. He wouldn't have got that at a PWI. So I feel like he should definitely be thankful for Jackson State. But Jackson State wouldn't have been where they at without Deion either, though. So that's twofold, I think, for that response for sure.
So y'all, I'm gonna respond to this comment real quick, and you can click on the other ones. The joke was Shiloh didn't play tonight because Deion told him to stay back home and pack. That's just what I was told. That's just what I read. But hey, y'all take what y'all think.
So in other words, we don't really know the whole story.
No, we don't know. Okay. He battled injuries throughout the season.
yeah, for sure. Him and Travis battled a lot of injuries, actually.
Yeah. But let's go to the question of the day, pretty much. The future Jackson State. That's what it comes down to. And I guess the real question should be the future HBCUs from here. But let's focus on Jackson State first. What do you do with your Jackson State to keep your relevancy? Because I think you're a good job. There's ups and downs to it. You're in Jackson, Mississippi. You're battling the water crisis. You're battling crime and all that stuff. But what HBCU isn't battling those things, right? But you also have this opportunity where you have this great fan base behind you. Deion has built these $1 million facilities. You got $1 million stadium coming along. You have all this national resources. It's a good job, but it's a bad job at the same time.
It's a hard so anybody that goes into that position is going to have a hard act to follow.
Yeah.
You got to think I don't think Deion Sanders was on like legendary status as far as like wins and records and all of that. I mean, sure, he went 27-5, but still like wins and records. I don't think he did it in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But as far as like acclaim and like attention, bro, that's a hard job. That's a hard job to take.
Kendall, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of somebody going to New England trying to replace Tom Brady, or somebody, Nick Saban leaves Alabama, and now you got to try to hire somebody to take his job. Now, Deion ain't Nick Saban by any means, but you get where I'm going.
To Jackson State, he's there, Nick Saban.
Yeah, they're going to remember him forever. Oh, yeah. You're going to get a statue one day, I believe.
Absolutely. So I think that's a question that you would have to ask. But I think that they can get some. That's the question that I've been talking about. I've been talking about this with my family. I've been talking about this online. What is your angle for your next head coach? Do you want a former NFL player? Do you want somebody that can Ray Lewis, whoever you want to go down the list with, Jerry Rice, whoever? Do you want somebody like that, or do you want somebody that has experience, that is a college coach, and that can prove or that can show you that they can win some games? Who do you want? Like, what's your angle? Because I really don't know. I don't know what I would do if I'm Jackson State in that position.
Because even if you do go hire an NFL player, they're not Deion. Deion is a one of one. There's only one Michael Jordan. There's only one LeBron James. There's only one. You get what I'm saying. You can't go get another Deion Sanders. You can go get another NFL Hall of Famer, but
for sure,
like I told you earlier, Kendall, they have to come with three things. They got to come with being able to sell themselves. They have to be able to come to sell the school, and they have to be able to dominate and win.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
That's the thing. That's the thing too. You can't just be 27-5 in the past 3 or 4 seasons, and then go back to being what 6-5 and stuff like that. You can't do that. That's because at this point, obviously, he wasn't there for too long to build that type of legacy. But this is a winning program in the last couple of years. You can't go back to just being bad or just being mediocre. Right.
A winning athletic program as a whole, because the girls' basketball team is good. I ain't gonna talk
for
about
sure.
The soccer teams won a SWAC championship. This is a high standard athletic program now. Like Kendall said, you can't go back to losing every game, whatever the case was before Deion got there. You have to be at least in the SWAC championship. Now, Celebration Bowl, is what it is, but you have to be competitive, because the thing that's gonna happen is this. Whoever they hire, they're going to always be compared to who? Deion. They're always going to be compared to Deion, no matter who it is. They can go hire Joe off the street. If he ain't winning, it's your job security will never be safe in Jackson State. From this point moving forward, if you are not winning a SWAC championship, at least in it every single year or winning it, every 2-3 years.
So Jackson State was 4-8 in the 2019 season. They was 4-8 before Deion got there. That was the season before he became the head coach. So, I don't really know how that's gonna go. I don't. Like I said before, that's a tough situation to be in.
Who wouldn't want to duplicate winning?
Oh, my fault. I forgot you.
You good.
But yeah, that's true. I mean, dominance, not even just winning, dominance. I mean, that's something you want to do. I think every coach goes into a situation wanting to dominate. So I think regardless of who they put in the coaching seat, you still want somebody that's going to dominate. You still want somebody that's going to do what they need to do.
Let me ask you this, Kendall. Do you think I'm gonna ask Kendall this and I'm gonna ask Commons as well. When Deion Sanders recruited Travis Hunter to come to Jackson State, do you think in that household he said, "Hey, I'm not gonna be here very long. If you could just stay a year with me, 2 years, a couple years, I'm gonna take you to the next level." Do you think that's a selling point, Kendall?
That could definitely be a selling point. But to answer that question though, this all I gotta show. To answer this question, this is all I gotta show.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever anybody says about Travis's decision about anything.
Father figure.
That's love. That's love right there. That's a father figure. That's everything. That's love right there. So at the end of the day, this man is somebody that I know Travis would follow wherever. There's no doubt in my mind about that. So yeah, I definitely think that he would. Go with it.
You see how them police officers follow him right there? That's how the whole Jackson State football team.
Bro, but you gotta think though. They basically Travis is. We seen Travis on YouTube videos with Shador and Shiloh and all of them. Like, bro, that's home. That's a second home for him at this point. Yeah. So yes, I wholeheartedly think that he's going with it for sure.
So I'm not saying you have to be Deion, but successful coaches, you can't. Jackson State from this point forward, like I said, whoever they hire, whoever the fan base sees, they're going to be trying to look for Deion. They're not going to just hire anybody average. If I'm them, honestly, you might just have to bring somebody up that's already on the staff. Honestly, that might be what you have to do.
But then you also got to think, how many people is he going to take from his staff?
That's truth. That is the truth.
My answer to that question is take away Deion's name. Take away the name. Just look at the record. Look at the resume. 27-5 and 2.5, 3 seasons, or 2.5, 3 years. That's something that I want. I don't want that to stop. So as far as be yourself, be your own coach, absolutely, for sure. Bring whatever you want to bring to your program. Because if you try to copy Deion, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
But as far as the way that he won, the domination,
Michael Jordan and Kobe, Kendall. Michael Jordan and Kobe.
I want the domination for sure. Yeah. But by no means are we saying that we want another Deion Sanders copy.
We got 201 people here. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. It's the most we've ever had, so we appreciate each and every one of y'all.
Please like the stream, comment, all of that.
Follow us on Instagram, Wildcard2K, Twitter, Wildcard2K.
Absolutely.
Please make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. That is essential on this channel. Cameron Jarrell Newton is not going to coach right now. I think he still has much belief that he is going to be an NFL quarterback. Yeah, that's my guy.
Bro, I saw this comment and I was like, Cam Newton, wait a minute. What has been going on that I have not heard? Yeah. But as far as these names, I think that it's enticing for sure. You saw the Jackson State fan base, and I'll give Jackson State fan base everything in the world as far as the way that they show up, the way that they show out, whether it's a home game, whether it's a away game, they show up and show out. That atmosphere is insane. That's something that coaches, players, all of that are going to love regardless of who's in that seat.
Yeah.
But
like I said, it's a good job. It's a good job. Sure.
But you also have to put that into you have to think about this. When
you start talking about celebrity or high caliber NFL players or stuff like that, coaches. You also have to put that into account. They gave Deion Sanders, as important as he was to that program, they gave him $1.2 million for about 4 years, I want to say. And then he gave half of that up to build or to finish building football facilities. How many people do you know are gonna do that? That wasn't something out of the kindness of his heart that happened. At least in the video that I saw by the pregame show. Make sure that's a shout out. They do their work over there at Jackson State.
For sure.
The lady, I don't know who I don't know her name, but the lady came to him and was like, if you want this done, you're gonna have to fork over some money. She said a quarter, he went up to a half. Everybody not gonna do that. Everybody is not going to do that. And that's something that I think a lot of people aren't really paying attention to when you talk about who's gonna be that next coach. That next coach got to be somebody that's willing to make some sacrifices.
A lot. A lot.
Oh yeah.
Now, I don't think your second stringers are gonna go. But if any of these guys, I think all the guys that made the besides Aubrey Miller, because I think Aubrey Miller is going to the league. I can say that right now. He's probably going in the draft.
It's the best year for him to do that.
Yeah. Shador is gone. We know that. Kevin Coleman is gone. If you can name them, they're gone. I'm gonna say that right now.
For sure. I mean, I think, and that's another thing that I think people can fall prey to is big names, just getting big names for the sake of getting big names. As a recruiting tool, I think it works, but as a coaching tool, I don't necessarily think it does. We looked at Deion Sanders when he first got hired and was like, I mean, you're a great player, legendary player, one of the best ever to lace up a pair of cleats. That don't mean that you're a good coach. We've seen a lot of players.
Like I said, though, Kendall, I don't necessarily think he's a great coach by description. I think he's a great recruiter, a great salesman, a great personality. But as far as just coaching, I'm calling the plays. This was gonna work, like being a Lane Kiffin. I'm calling the playbook. I'm the OC and the head coach. I don't think that's Deion. I think he gets players that fit that. I mean, coach that fit that and do the job for him.
I think that like you said, he put a great coaching staff around him. I think that was one of the reasons why he was. I think that was one of the reasons why he was fighting so hard for his staff to get paid as well. For his staff,
he had a good staff.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's something. That's another thing that's important when you're thinking about putting who else is going to be that new coach. It's a lot of sacrifices in doing this job, and I think that's something that people really got to pay attention to.
But also at the same time, back to me saying I think it's a great job to take. There's also opportunity for if you go there and you do win, now you have the opportunity to go get some bigger job offers or bigger looks. Now you're not gonna go be Deion and go get a probably not Colorado, but because even then, Deion, we know this, Kendall. Colorado.
That's true.
Colorado.
Oh yeah, Colorado is crazy. Yeah.
I would, Kendall, personally, if he wasn't doing this for his assistant coaches, I don't think he's leaving for Colorado. The money don't hurt either because he's good, but Colorado.
So somebody said this in the comments earlier. They said he likes a challenge. I can see that, but like you said, Colorado, that's kind of different. That's different for sure. I feel like when everybody thought about him leaving or going somewhere else, I don't think Colorado was in anybody's mind.
Absolutely not.
I've looked on Twitter and it's people in Colorado surprised that he's going to Colorado. So that's when it's like this is a different move for him, I think, for sure.
But I'm gonna remind people of this: if that Florida State job comes open at any moment, out.
You said what?
If that Florida State job comes open at any moment, Colorado, you can be just like Jackson State.
Oh yeah. I have had the opportunity to see some of their facilities. They got nice facilities for sure. So I mean, it's not something that I think is like nothing there.
But at the same time, it's like I think when you think of a Deion Sanders, you think of like to be honest, I don't think anybody thought of Jackson, Mississippi when they thought of Deion Sanders before he took that job either, though. So I guess the place doesn't necessarily matter as much to him.
I just don't think he was trying to be anybody's assistant coach personally.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, keep going.
Now this would be very interesting. This would be very, very interesting.
If you want to get him on the show too, that would be great too. I appreciate that.
Sure. Oh yeah, definitely.
Make sure you subscribe and listen to DM Walker.
Colorado makes sense. So you think so how long are you giving him to stay at Colorado then? If you don't think he's gonna stay at Colorado, how long are you giving him?
First year ain't gonna be good. Tell you that now.
Yeah, his first year at Jackson State wasn't good.
Exactly. He's not going to have all of his players. He's going to have his son and the ones he had at Jackson State. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you're still going to have the Colorado, the former coach player there, and they went 1-10. If I'm not mistaken,
1-11, I believe.
1-11. So
I'm not going to sit here and act like I know Colorado is like history. But if they were something, I feel like he can resurge. There can be a resurgence for that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, this is a new generation, so you gotta get players there.
And also the recruits that he's bringing in, they don't know what Colorado was. Their recruits are the same age as us, if just a little bit younger. So
for sure. And people that's not. So we both in the East Coast. I mean, I'm from Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. You from Birmingham, Alabama. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we in the East. I don't know how many people in the East is looking at Colorado. Just speaking on that. But I mean, Midwest and West, whatever. Sure, I don't know. But I mean, I think he's going to recruit from everywhere. I don't think that's going to limit him to where he's going to be recruiting at. Oh, very true. That's another thing about the coach. That's another thing about the coach. Your culture is going to change regardless of who you put in as a coach. I don't care if you put a carbon copy of Deion Sanders in there. It's not going to be the real thing. Mm-hmm. So the culture around Jackson State is going to change completely for sure.
And I also don't think that he has, when he goes to Colorado, I don't think he has to bring a rapper in there. You had to bring a rapper in there to Jackson, Mississippi to go get, because I think they want to support HBCU. Now you go to Colorado, you can do what you want to do. You got the resources now. Mm-hmm. You were bringing Snoop Dogg and Wallow and Gilly and Young Dolph there to give you money, donate to the program and help recruit. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do that at Colorado anymore. You can literally just walk into somebody's room and they're just going to have to make decisions themselves. But like I said, Lincoln Riley is there. Chip Kelly is there. You don't forget about down South Kendall with Nick Saban and Kirby. Nick Saban is struggling to recruit nowadays. Literally. Think about this, y'all. It's not going to be an overnight fix. If y'all think he's about to go to Colorado and have the same dominance that he had at Jackson State, you're sadly mistaken.
I could definitely see that.
Now, if he went to Florida State and he's selling Florida State, that's a different thing. But who wants to?
But I also think that that's part of that stuff is his brand too, though.
Yeah,
you got to think if I'm the AD and if I'm the fans, if we get Deion Sanders, I want the authentic Deion Sanders. Now, obviously, we're not gonna let the man do everything he want to do, but we also want that. We also want that experience. That's a great selling point. The Deion Sanders experience. That's a great selling point for recruits, for fans, whoever. That's a great selling point. But one of the things that I know, I'd be very surprised if they let him do at Colorado. And you watched the game, so you would know. Did you see them recliners on the field?
Oh yeah,
them prime time seats or whatever they call.
Yeah, over with.
I was looking, I have never seen that before in my life. This man got recliners on the field, literally almost on the side of the end zone. Insane, bro, insane.
But at the end of the day, that's prime though. I think at the same time, I think for him, and we know this, it's easier for him to relate to black people because he's black. You're going to a different coast now. You're not in Florida. In Florida State, he could talk Florida State. He's from Florida. He's all that. Now you're going to Colorado and, You know, you might have to change the twang up. You know, like Brian Kelly when he went from Notre Dame.
Nah, bro, Deion Sanders not developing.
He's not doing that, but
no
you know
Midwestern
what I'm saying?
accent.
You're gonna have to find a way to relate to these people, relate to these fan base. And I think it's gonna be very easy because it's not much to relate. You don't have much to compare it to because you've been losing, but you are gonna have to find a way. You know, with certain fans, you got to connect with these people. It's not just. I'm gonna keep saying it. It's not an overnight fix for Deion. This is challenging.
It's gonna take time. Yeah, it's definitely gonna take time. And one of the things that I think is going to happen, and this is something that he experienced in the Swac too, is if he doesn't have as much success as he wants at the beginning, people are gonna be like, "Oh man, this was a terrible hire. You should stay in the HBCUs." All of that, you know, that's coming. You know it's coming. But at the end of the day, most coaches don't have a whole lot of success their first year. But you know, people are gonna say that. That's the first thing that people are gonna say is that he should have stayed. He should have stayed at Jackson State.
Nick Saban lost to Louisiana Monroe his first year at Alabama. Now, I'm not saying Deion's only going to win one game, but I think I won't be surprised if he's not bowl eligible. Let's see. Oh yeah, my bad. You click back?
No, you should.
I didn't. I think USC isn't. I'm not sure.
I know it's definitely supposed to be some shuffling. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure how much and who's going where necessarily right now. But I know it's definitely supposed to be some shuffling.
For sure. You can go back to your comment though. My bad.
What was my comment? I don't even remember. Oh. Yeah. I mean, the transfer portal is more valuable than ever. I think you're gonna have valuable players moving here and there in the transfer portal. So he'd be wise to utilize that to the best of his ability, which I think he did. He did with Jackson State. So I don't think it's gonna be any different as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, he can recruit anybody, but it's not gonna be as easy as it was recruiting in the Swac. And in the transfer portal, it's not going to be as easy to say, hey, come here. It's guaranteed playing time.
So UCLA and USC are going to be members of the Big Ten in 2024.
Really?
Yeah. I remember hearing about it, but I wasn't sure exactly where they was going to.
That's interesting.
I agree that prime effect is going to be something different. I think it's going to be a different type of feel, though. It's definitely not going to be a Jackson State type feel for Colorado, but I think it's going to be different, which I think they need. I mean, a program that's struggling, that 1-11 type season. I mean, that's something that you need. I think you need a new breath of fresh air.
I don't think it was hard to have that effect that he had at Jackson State though, because it's an HBCU. We knew at the time that, like you said, Kendall, the time that he went there and joined was perfect timing. Mm-hmm. You know, in light of the George Floyd situation and the Black Lives Matter movement, it came at the right time.
He said that was one of the reasons that made him go to begin with. Like that type of climate was very pro Black, pro HBCU type. We got to start investing into this and that, investing into that. So that's a that's a big reason.
It's a plus. Yeah.
Yeah. Me personally, I was just talking about initially. I mean, I think I don't know what success looks like to you specifically, but I think me personally, I can see him succeeding, but I just don't know if it's going to be automatic. I think it's going to take time, the same way it took time with Jackson State.
And not only is it going to be pressure on Deion to go there, even though he doesn't consider pressure a thing. Shedeur going from the SWAC to Pac-12, you're playing against top level players.
You're gonna really see how good he is.
Yeah. Now Travis as well. You're the number one recruit in the nation. Show me. People been questioning your move all season long to go to Jackson State. Okay, now here's your time. What you gonna do?
That's very true.
I think that's something that has to be taken into account as well. I do think Shador would have got drafted though, based off his name. It wasn't gonna be first round, but I think he was gonna get drafted. And I think I even now, Kendall, I'm gonna say this: if Shador goes to Pac-12 and he puts up the same numbers that he did at Jackson State, I still don't know if that's getting him first round pick because of what the Pac-12 is defensively.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's definitely going to give him more national attention and more credit too when you're playing against better talent.
And then you talk about this right here, Kendall, USC and UCLA leaving. Okay, those two leave. Where's the competition going to be like that?
See, that's the thing about the Pac-12. Like now I feel like I got to really pay attention to the Pac-12. Pac-12 wasn't really something that I was paying that much attention to.
You don't have to stay up late at night.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably one of the reasons too.
We appreciate you.
He definitely has some comp. He definitely has some comp to deal with for sure. Definitely don't know if he's an automatic first round pick. I don't even think Shador would say that at this point in time. But all right.
Especially when you got other quarterbacks like Bryce Young and Caleb Williams and people like that coming in. Look, I'm not saying. Go ahead. You good. I got mine here. You go ahead. Talk that one.
No, I was just saying like this is basically what I'm saying. Like you pulling up, like you said, it's gonna be a culture shock. I think it's gonna be a big difference in talent, and I think you're gonna be able to see that first year for sure. But like you said, building a powerhouse takes time. I think one of the reasons why he did it in Swac so easily was because he's the biggest coaching name in the Swac. He's the biggest name in the Swac. Recognizable wise, he's the biggest name. So I think it was a lot easier. But moving into a different conference with higher level players, higher level coaches, I think it's going to be a little bit different.
Which is why I wanted to see him stick around for maybe 2 more years to see if Hugh Jackson could, elevate his coaching game and recruiting staff, and Coach Robinson could elevate his team a little bit more and stuff like that. I want to see him get the opportunity I want the SWAC to be able to level the playing field with Jackson State. And I don't think we ever this year was the closest we got to that. And I thought next year would have been a different kind of beast.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that I was looking forward to, which is why I'm sad to see him go. Just because I thought the competition level next year would have been better, because I feel like it would have improved consistently. You see that with any dominant team. You see that with we saw that with the Warriors. The Warriors, their dynasty. Teams improved and they got to a point where all right, we can play against y'all and we can beat y'all in a 7-game series. So
it forces you to adjust.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I'm not saying that Nick Saban can't recruit, but you can definitely see Alabama's dominance is not completely on the downhill, but it's on a slow slope where it's not the same. This isn't the same Alabama football team that we've known since 2009. That's all I'm saying. Yes, he's a recruiting magnet, but you're all, like I said, so is Nick Saban, so is Kirby Smart. It's not like the same situation where you're the only program with a great recruiting facility, a great practice facility now. Now everybody has that. Everybody has big donors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think a lot of attention is going to Colorado now. Just in general, like I said before with the SWAC, you got a big name. You got somebody that has the potential to get you get you to the next level. Just based off a name alone, but also connections and stuff like that too. So, you gotta put a lot of that into perspective as a recruit too. I mean, as a recruit, I'm looking at it like, all right, this is a great opportunity for me. This is a great opportunity for my family, whatever. Some stuff can change. This could be a big decision for you. And that's why I really think you're gonna see some of those players that he got at Jackson State right now end up going with him because it's a big opportunity for them.
I guess Oregon just disappeared, huh?
Dang, man. I don't know if that means he a Steelers fan or if he memeing us. I don't know. Dang, man. I hate to see that from a Steelers fan. Hate to see it.
Oh, I didn't even see the Steelers fan. Dang.
Yeah, bro. Hate to see it. But nah, for real, bro. I really think as far as the SWAC though, because I don't think we talked about like with the SWAC. I think the SWAC has proven that they can be entertaining. I think that's something that mainstream media likes is entertainment. I think that's something that sells. That's something that people pay attention to. I think the SWAC has proven that they can be. I think the SWAC has proven that there can be some drama. I mean, we saw that with the Eddie Robinson and Coach Prime thing. Bro made a whole song off of it. I don't know how many streams it got. I don't know how many likes it got or whatever.
He got some streams
he made
for
a
me.
whole song.
Yeah.
Exactly. He made a whole song out of it and all of that. So I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know, man. It sucks for the SWAC because I think you're losing somebody mainstream wise that gave you a lot of attention. Mm-hmm. I think HBCU wise, SWAC is where it's at. SWAC is still where it's at. I think the SWAC is still going to be one of the best conferences in HBCU football, but I just think it's kind of unfortunate that he couldn't be beat.
There's your answer, Kendall.
That's what I really wanted to see. What? Oh yeah. I mean, I'm a fan too, but I don't know. I don't know about Kenny. I gotta give him some time.
Why are y'all so convinced Ray Lewis wants to coach? Who said Ray Lewis wanted to coach?
Yeah, Ray Lewis to Jackson State been in this chat pretty much the whole time we've been talking.
God, I don't think y'all realize how rare that is.
Then Ray Lewis not coaching nowhere, is he? Like has he even coached like at the high school level? I don't think he has.
No, the difference is Deion was coaching at the high school level too, so he was actually wanting to coach.
Yeah. I mean, as a recruiter, I think Ray could do a great job. I mean, I've been around the guy a couple of times. I've had conversations with him a little bit. Like I said, I'm from Baltimore, so I've had a couple of conversations with him. But I went to a couple camps. I don't think that he just come in and be a great coach like that.
I did not know he applied for the Morgan State job. Kendall, did you know that?
Nah, I'm not even gonna sit here and act like I did. Nah, I didn't.
It may not be the truth to it. It might be, you know how that goes.
Hearsay.
Yeah. But the thing is, we were getting known for football. At one point, we were known for football more than the bands back in the 80s, 70s.
But that's another thing that I think is really important when we're having these conversations. Y'all may not be known for football right now, but that's what we're striving to get to. Like, I mean, you can say all of the stuff about where HBCU football is right now, but regardless of what you want to say, there's talent there at the coaching position and at the player position. There's talent there. These are players that strap on their helmets just like everybody else do at Alabama, Georgia, all of them places. They do the same thing. And it sucks that these players aren't getting the recognition. It sucks that these coaches aren't getting the recognition because people are saying, oh, they just is black school down south. They just is black school that do this, whatever. You know, when you're talking about equality, when you're talking about changing the game, that you got to give us our play. You got to give us our credit. And I think that was something that was happening with mainstream media because you seeing Jackson State play this school and that school, whatever, you seeing them get that mainstream attention. And the fact that it's a lot of people, like some people in the comments, it's a lot of people in mainstream media that aren't going to do that anymore because Deion Sanders' name isn't attached there.
It's sad because, like I said before, it's a lot of talent. It's a lot of people that put their blood, sweat, and tears into this. And at the end of the day, man, this is something bigger than just football. It's bigger than the game. It's bigger than basketball. It's bigger than whatever game you want to say. It's bigger than all of that. Because at the end of the day, this is about HBCUs making a difference. It's about people recognizing the work that HBCUs put in. And so, I mean, it's sad that he's leaving, but I don't want that.
He just announced is what everybody's saying.
He did. He did.
We might have
another told players at Jackson State he is leaving to become the new head coach. And Bleacher Report just dropped it. Golly, man.
The reason he left is because HBCUs can't rise. I don't think that's the reason.
We break barriers.
Yeah.
Whenever you say we can't, we make ways. So I mean, that's not something. It's possible. I don't want to hear anybody say that it's not possible. It takes time, but it's possible.
You saw the progress that he made in 2-3 years.
That's wild, bro.
I got a tear in my eye a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I got a little bit of a tear in my eye. Oh, it hurts.
At least you talked to him that one time.
Yeah, and at least we saw him, right?
Yeah, you're right. Dang.
Yes, this is the reason right here. It's because of the coaching staff. It wasn't because he's an HBCU. I think Deion enjoyed HBCUs because he could do what he wanted to do, and nobody was going to regulate him.
You can't look at the atmosphere of everything that happened and tell me he didn't enjoy being there.
Yeah, his kids as well.
Mm-hmm. I think it was just the fact that you actually getting to hear him say it, like the fact that it's actually coming out from his mouth. Because
fans deserve as much as the players, Kendall.
You said what?
I think the fans deserved it as much as the players to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think he has. I really honestly do believe that he has. But I think it's one of those things where, like people in the comments have proved, it's something that was going to take more time than I think 2.5, 3 years. And I think that's where my kind of disappointment is. I'm not mad at the man for he got a promotion at this point. I mean, he got what, $5 million compared to 1.2. That's a promotion. I'm not mad at the man for getting that. But it's just like, it just sucks because that type of thing does take time. That's a trailblazer in the making, and we couldn't see it through as far as maybe 5, maybe 10. Who knows how long it could have lasted? That type of thing. That's what I was saying.
Who is Pac, baby?
That's crazy that it fits. Oh man, he probably gonna drop a song in about 2 hours?
Yeah.
He might. Can you imagine?
Bro, I just don't see Ray Lewis going to Jackson State. I don't. Greed is the reason HBCUs can't rise. Now, I don't really want to get onto that topic, honestly.
I don't know if they had the money to pay him that much. $5 million ain't nothing to scoff at.
And it's not. It wasn't about his pay. I don't think he really cared about his pay. I think it was the assistants. Because if he wasn't getting paid that much, imagine what his assistants were getting paid. They had the money. Are you sure?
I know somebody said something about them getting $30 million. I don't know exactly what that money was specifically supposed to go to.
I'm not. If I'm Jackson State, I'm not giving Deion my full $30 million, especially if I'm at an HBCU where I know we're struggling. No. They made $50 million. The school made $50 million. He didn't make it. Well off media. I gotta watch the video.
I just saw the announcement on Bleacher Report. I don't know if it's I don't know if they got the video on it yet. They might.
But the money wasn't. He didn't. I don't think he wanted the money on his contract. I think he wanted the money for the facilities.
I mean, if you don't think that he would be in a position where he wanted to put the facilities and the team first,
like I keep referring to, you gotta look at the video of him giving away half of his what's it called? Half of his salary for facilities. So that's something that I feel like he would do as far as focusing on getting that money to facilities and stuff like that for the team.
I think, like I said, the most interesting thing to take away from this is, like I said, I think you have to think about what players are leaving.
Yeah.
Travis is gone. I'm telling you that now. Shador is gone. Small amount of HBCUs calls this calamity. I don't want to say the word.
Like I said, I'm not mad about that. I'm not. I respect it because at the end of the day, I mean, them coaches got families to feed and all of that too. So I mean, I understand that.
Ooh, JSU going back to a purgatory? Jesus. Jesus.
Yeah, purgatory.
I don't think they ever left it, honestly. Could you see Deion Sanders coaching? I would say more Ed Reed than Ray Lewis personally.
I mean, to put that into perspective, HBCU football wasn't necessarily something
that was a different time
knowledgeable about at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, before that, like
Kendall, what they call it, BC, before prime?
What?
BP? You know how
okay, you said BC. I was very confused.
I was you get what I'm saying.
I was very confused.
Before prime.
Yeah, that's true too. The state of Mississippi is pretty corrupted. That's one of the reasons why that's one of the reasons why the water crisis was such a big deal.
I think those things could have probably frustrated him, especially when you think about his first year when he was getting robbed in his cars, and his Shiloh got robbed this year twice in his car. When you think about the safety as well of the state,
yeah,
it's a tough thing to battle. Raise your hand if you only follow HBCU sports and believe because of Coach Prime and Coach Prime only.
That's a lot. It was a lot of people like that though. There's a lot of people like that.
I think Kendall, he helped us out.
Yeah, he did. We got some of our subscribers based on the beef that him and Coach Robinson had, and the videos that we posted directly from the post game press conferences.
Speaking of, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, I'll be watching Colorado for about the first 2 years, but if they're the same Colorado team, I'm gonna be paying more attention to the Swac than Colorado still.
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see what he does. I definitely want to see what he does.
They'll be on TV. Don't worry about that. They'll be on TV.
True. especially on Monday. It's gonna be on ESPN. It's gonna be on FS1. You know, Undisputed, First Take. You know, all of them want to talk about it.
Who are you telling? But it hurts though a little bit.
It definitely does, man. You got anything else though, bro? We almost had a minute and a half, man. I mean, an hour and a half. That's how long we've been on here.
Yeah, I don't got nothing else to say. Before, for my ASU people that are here, which I don't know how many of it is right now, we do have a special announcement.
Big announcement.
Make sure you guys check out our next episode when we give our Bama State awards for the teams that participate in sports this fall.
We got what's some of the awards we got, man? We got Rookie of the Years. We got Freshman. Yeah, we got Coach of the Year.
Defenders.
We got a Team of the Year. We got all of that, man. We got all of that for y'all. So for the Bama State crew that we got on here, we got a lot of good stuff for y'all. We cannot wait to put on for y'all. We got a lot of stuff for the athletes and everything. So make sure y'all tune in, and we're excited. We're excited to do it. It's our first one, so we're very excited for it.
Yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. We appreciate all the most views we ever had. Hopefully, this kind of thing continues.
Oh yeah, definitely. We appreciate all of the back and forth, all of the comments and everything, man. It provided us with a great show. It gave us a great atmosphere to talk to. So we appreciate y'all for sure.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and the biggest thing, Kendall, we never say this: share us. We love sharing. Sharing is caring.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
but yeah, like we said before, though, we appreciate y'all. We hope that y'all was entertained. We hope that y'all enjoyed the show. Like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that y'all stay in contact with us. We talk about everything in the SWAC, everything in HBCU football. We just two juniors in college, just trying to make a way.
Deion dropped it off, but we gonna carry it on.
Yeah. We trying to do something in the sports media business. So make sure y'all continue to watch our journey for sure.
One more thing, Kendall. I'm gonna leave with that. If you have anybody that wants to do any kind of collab with us, hit us in DM. Our DMs are open. We appreciate any kind of content. Anybody who can help out, anybody can help us out. Appreciate y'all.
For sure.
Have a good night.
All right. Appreciate y'all.